Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a few weeks since I've posted or made a video, but I'm back and I'm ready to talk about all the library books that I read in the last 3 weeks. So let's get started. Alright, so the first one that I'm going to be talking about is The Song of Achilles. So obviously I went in thinking I was gonna enjoy, like, love it, like super love it. And I mean, I get it. I get the hype. I get why people really love this, but I didn't 100% love it. To me, this book it was really well written, but the beginning was really slow and I had a hard time trying to figure out, trying just to figure out these characters and why I cared about them. The ending completely trashed everything. No, that ending. No one prepared me for that ending. That was not cool. Not cool. So that's why I ended up rating this one 4 out of 5 stars. It was still a really good read. I 100% recommend it to people because it's like so well written. It's a fantastic book. Yes. Read it and weep. Read it and weep. The next book that I'm going to be talking about is Winter Song. And so I went in, this is the one that I was talking about that was like, oh, Goblin. Is this the one? Goblin. Goblin King. Yes, this is the one that I was talking about that was like, oh, Goblin King, that sounds fun. And I mean, this was a fun read. It was fast-paced, it was fun. I enjoyed the world, even though the world building wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. I mean, I feel like it could have been fleshed out a little bit better because there were times where I was like, I don't know what's actually happening. I'm like, wait, we're here, we're there, we're here, we're there. It was a little confusing, but for the most part, I really enjoyed this, and I really liked the way the author wrote about love. Like, it was just so poetic, and it wasn't like, oh, like, lovey-dovey love. No, it was more like what true love, like, it's complicated, it's hard, it's not always perfect and frilly and everything that we associate love with. It's also like filled with like sad times. It's everything combined, and she really just worded it really well. I didn't word it really well, but she worded it really well. So I would also recommend this one too. The only thing is, yeah, the world building isn't the greatest, but I'm hoping for the second book for it to be just a tad bit better. But we'll see when I get to it. Alright, and the third book that we're going to be talking about today is Ooops Alex Approximately. This book surprised me. I mean, usually contemporaries do surprise me because I always go in going, oh, it's going to be a piece of fluff. And then there's like it's really dynamic, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I mean, this was complex it had multiple layers, which I was really into. The main characters, usually, like, I'm not into, like, complete romances, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like, great, you guys are, but, like, you know that they're gonna get together, but it's like, But this one, I actually really enjoyed watching the two come together. It was really sweet and really well done, and it just makes your heart flutter. And I mean, it never took place in a pool, so the cover is kind of deceiving, but it did take place in California, so there's that. Yeah, so it was a nice summery read to read in the middle of winter because it's freezing cold and there's a lot of snow out there. So this was good. Oh, I didn't say, I think I rated this one, I didn't say what I rated it. This one was a solid 3.5 for me out of 5. And then this one was a 4-star read for me. Like I say, lots of layers. I really enjoyed, like I say, everybody coming together. It was just really sweet, and like it also really talked about, like, there was other heavier topics that the author talked about, like trauma and like being in your first relationship and like all of the things that go along with that. So it was just really it was handled really well. So yes, definitely enjoyed this, definitely recommend this. I don't know if this is going to be in focus, but we're going to find out. Alright, the next book I'm going to talk about is Nightblood. Alright, so this was the third book in this trilogy. What is this trilogy called? The Frost Blood trilogy. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And I went into this book with really, really, really high hopes because I really, really, really enjoyed the second book. This was a 3.5 star read for me. It closed everything up nicely. I really enjoyed how it ended. I mean, it was very happily ever after ending, and the way the author kind of wrapped everything up was very perfect, and I didn't really care for how perfect it all wrapped up, but it was still really well written. It was fast paced. It was still really, I still really, really enjoyed it. I mean, I say really, really, and I'm sitting here giving it 3.5 stars, but this, I still liked it. I would recommend this series. I mean, the first book was a bit, it wasn't hard to get through. The first book was easy to get through because it was fast paced and the world building was interesting, but it was just lacking so much. I mean, the second book really opened up this world, and then this one really closed it and brought everything together. So I mean, if that's what you're looking for in a trilogy, I mean, I'm looking for that in a trilogy, so I would recommend this one. It's very interesting. And then the last book that I'm going to be talking about is The Perfect Stranger. And I haven't fully, I mean, I finished this last night. So I rated it 3.5 stars last night. And this was really well written. She wrote it really well. But there's just something about this that wasn't like, it didn't wow me like thrillers can. Sometimes you read a really good thriller and you're like, thrown for a loop and you're like, what? This is it? I mean, she had these interesting elements because she had two, like basically she had story A and story B, and they kind of were like interweaving into each other. But I just feel like she didn't interweave them as well as it could have been done. I mean, the stories didn't really mesh as well as I wanted them to mesh, and then I kind of figured who the perfect stranger was from the beginning. So to me, I was like, oh, I wasn't surprised by how it ended. I mean, there were a few surprises where I was like, oh, damn. But I mean, otherwise, it didn't surprise me as much as I kind of wanted it to. So that's why it got a 3.5 star rating from me. But otherwise, this was still a really fast-paced, and you're trying to figure, I like trying to figure out who is what, who does where, you know? I mean, I enjoy that. So this was good. I mean, I don't know if I would pick up another Megan Miranda book. Maybe her other books are better, but I would have to read, I guess, another one to really form an opinion of her writing. I mean, her writing, it's not her writing is good. It's just her plot formation that I was like, I don't know about this. So, yeah, that's this. So, out of all my 5 books, I have two 4-star reads and 3.5 star reads. So I mean, nothing terrible at least. Everything was still really well, that caught my attention, and I didn't want to like chuck it across the room. I mean, maybe A Song of Achilles I wanted to chuck across the room by the end because I was like, no one, this ending. I mean, if you know the ending, you know. So it's like, you just no. So those are the first 5 library books of the year for me. I will be going to the library again very soon. I mean, by the time this goes live, I will have already gone to the library and hopefully filmed my next book haul, but that's to be seen. I mean, library, yes. Filming, I don't know. But, yeah, so you should see me again fairly recent, because, yes, I will have a batch of 5 new books coming, and we can do this all over again where I try and figure out if I'm going to love the books that I've picked from the library. So this was this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. Give me some love. I don't know, I'm new to this. Leave a comment. And subscribe, yes, for more videos from me. So until next time, bye guys.